Here are 3 secrets that I share in my therapy sessions to help my clients to overcome their anxiety that you can also use as well. So do you know what the difference between depression and anxiety is? Well, depression is where you focus on the past, right? All the things that have happened to you, like your trauma, your upbringing, all that stuff. Your anxiety comes from focusing on the future, things that have not happened. So it's worrying about that test that you're going to take that maybe you're going to pass, but maybe you're going to fail. Or thinking about asking someone out on a date and you don't know what they're going to say, right? Or even that business idea that you have that you think is a good idea, but a lot of people have told you it's going to fail and you just start to believe them, so you don't even try. This is the difference between anxiety and depression. Now, here's the thing, guys. I see a lot of people with anxiety, but here's the thing too. I see a lot of high professionals, right? High performance professionals, and a lot of entrepreneurs that do really well in their businesses. They struggle with anxiety as well. Now, the thing is for them is that they don't know this, but their anxiety actually pushes them to perform at the levels that they perform at, which is why anxiety is not really a bad thing, but it's the way that they see it that determines whether or not it is a bad thing. Now, throughout this podcast, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you guys 3 ways to help you to overcome that anxiety so that you too can perform at your highest level. Now, the thing about anxiety that a lot of people miss out is that if you avoid it, it just tends to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The only option that you have is to engage with it. It's kind of like this dance that you're doing, right? Every time you decide to dance with anxiety, you show you and you show your mind that it's not this big scary thing that you thought it was. I sometimes tell my clients that anxiety is kind of like that lump of old clothes that's under the bed that looks like a monster. And until you shine a flashlight on it, you only start to believe that then that it is just a lump of clothes, right? But if you never go into the bed, if you never look at it, if you never dance with it, you never get to see that your anxiety isn't really what it is, right? And here's the thing. Anxiety is actually good for us because it protects us from dangers in life. The anxiety of not being able to pay your mortgage or your rent, or the anxiety of, let's say, letting people down is what pushes us to show up and perform in the parts of our lives that we need to perform at. Now, the thing is that we just don't want that anxiety to become so overwhelming that we can't take regular actions or do daily tasks like going to the gym or going out with friends because we have social anxiety. So in this podcast, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you guys 3 techniques, 3 strategies that's gonna help you to overcome your anxiety that I only share in my therapy sessions. So with that being said, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and let's get to point number 1. All right, so point number 1, this is going to be a very bizarre, let's just say, unorthodox way of coming across your anxiety. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to go to Google, right? So you can listen to me and go to Google. So go to Google, type in the word monkey trap, and then click on images. And you're going to see what I'm talking about, all right? And also my editors, they may go ahead and put that image up on here for you. So there's parts in Africa, right? There's parts in Africa, parts in Central America, right? Where poachers, they'll go into these jungles and they'll take these coconuts. And what they'll do is they'll slice these coconuts open, put some banana chips inside of them, and then they'll tie them up overnight, right? They'll tie them up in the trees and leave them there overnight. Now what happens is these monkeys, they'll come across this coconut, look inside and go, wow, look at all these banana chips, right? And what they'll do is they'll slide their hand inside, grab the banana chips, and then they'll leave. But the issue is when they try to leave, they realize that they're stuck because this hole that was cut open just wide enough for an open hand to go in, but a closed fist cannot come out. And as a result, this monkey struggles and they fight all night long until the poacher comes the next day and they actually wax them, right? They capture them and whack them, all that stuff, right? And this is how the monkey loses their life. This is how the monkey trap works. Now, something that the monkey does not realize, that I realize, but also you realize, is that if they let go, they'll be able to get their life back. They'll be able to get something back more valuable than what's inside of the banana, right? That's inside of the coconut, which is the banana chips. But a lot of people, a lot of monkeys, they fail to realize the value of letting go. For you, your anxiety is the exact same way. What's inside the coconut for you is not the banana chips or anything like that, but it's perfection, it's fear of rejection, and it's your comfort zone. These are the things that are inside that coconut that you just can't seem to let go. And if I can convince you, if you can convince yourself that there's something better than what's inside of there, you actually have the life that you're looking for. But you have to take time to ask yourself, what is worth me letting go of something that I'm holding on to? When you're able to do that, you're able to let go of the anxiety and start living life on your terms. Point number 1, guys, to help you to overcome your anxiety is to not fall for the monkey trap. When you fall for the monkey trap, It's not postures that's going to catch you, right? But it's going to be anxiety, and even worse, it's going to be depression that's going to come and capture you. You're going to wake up one day asking yourself, how did I get here, right? The same exact thing those monkeys are asking themselves the next day. Well, it's because you did not let go. Guys, the art of letting go is one of the biggest things you can do right now to help you to overcome your anxiety. But you have to be able to ask yourself, what is worth letting go? All right, point number 2, and I kind of alluded to this in the intro. All right, guys, so here's the thing about anxiety. The way that you approach your anxiety is truly the problem. It's not a problem that your anxiety exists, but it's the way you go about your anxiety that truly proves that it's a problem. I'll give you guys a great example, right? So I want you to imagine that you're walking on the beach, or you're walking in a desert or something like that, and you're walking and walking and walking, and then you fall into a hole. Now, in this hole, you have 2 things that's available to you. You have a shovel and you have a ladder. And for a lot of people, what they do is they try to dig themselves out of the anxiety. And what that may look like is reading dozens of self-help books, taking all types of medications, seeing this therapist, that therapist. And guys, trust me, I'm a therapist, so I know what I'm talking about. But they do all these things, right? They're exerting all this energy, and worse, they're spending all this money and time trying to get rid of something that's, one, normal, but also is needed for them to have the life that they want. But because they don't know that, because they think that not only should things be perfect outwardly, right? So the way they do their work, the way they are to people, right? They expect that to be perfect. They also expect how things inside of them feel should be perfect as well. So what that means is that there is no room for anxiety in their life. And what they end up doing is doing all these things, right? Taking all these different tests, or taking all these actions, or taking all these medications or supplements to get rid of something that is, let's just say, a human natural feeling, if you will. So guys, what I'm trying to say in this point is that it's not about getting rid of the anxiety. It's about being able to live with it, being able to dance with it, right? In a way that allows you to still have the life that you want. Now, my question to you will be this, right? And I've asked a lot of clients this, so it's a great question. I want you guys to ask yourself, if you took the same amount of time, it takes the same amount of money that you invested in trying to get rid of your anxiety, and you spent it inside of your dreams, right? You spent it living your dreams, what would happen? Okay, so great example, right? So when it comes to, let's say, the amount of time that you spent reading self-help books, going to therapy, right? And I'm a big fan of both of those, but the amount of time you spend, let's just say it's 2 hours a week. What would happen if you took those same 2 hours and you applied it to your business, or let's say working out, right? Or let's just say living life on your terms, whether it's going out with friends, spending time with family, something that you deem valuable. What would happen, right? What would happen over the course of a year? I think you'd probably say, Coach, I realized that, man, life isn't as bad as I thought it was. And that's the truth, it wouldn't be. But you don't know that because you haven't tried it. So let's stop trying to fix this problem, right? And let's focus more so on living life. Life is not a problem to be solved, but it's something to be experienced. And I want you guys to go from problem solving to experiencing life. Main point number 3, guys, the third secret to help you to overcome your anxiety. And this one I'll actually put in the comments below, in the comments and probably the description as well. There's gonna be an activity for you guys to do. So if you've ever been to a beach, and if you haven't been to the beach, you know how beaches work. When you go to the beach, you see these waves and they rise and then they fall off, right? Again and again and again. And what we want to do is we want to imagine that our anxiety is like a wave. And what we want to do is we want to ride this wave out like a surfer would ride out a wave. And what this technique is called is urge surfing. So whether it's anxiety or even something worse like addictions, if you're able to see your anxiety and your addictions as a way to be written out, it'll allow you to allow things to come and go. Having confidence that this cycle does exist gives you confidence and the peace of mind to allow your feelings like anxiety to rise, to then peak, and then to fall. That's what we want to do. When we do those 3 things, it allows us to have a life that can be able that we can able to experience while anxiety is also in the room with us. Now, what this would look like, and guys, there's a lot of ways to do this. 1, there's guided meditations. You can find those on YouTube. 2, as I said in the description, I will give a link to a PDF that you can use. But in addition to these things, what you can do is during urge surfing, you can practice deep breathing, right? You can practice going for walks, meditating. There's a lot of things that you can do in the midst of these emotions. I think even something that's really great, something that comes from James Clear's book, So Atomic Habits, right? I always quote that book. You can make things easier for you to do by changing the environment. So when anxiety is present, what type of environment do you need to have in order to make anxiety less impactful in your life? Well, for you, for me, maybe that's being outside by water. Maybe that's being outside going for a walk. Or maybe that's actually being inside, but you're being inside with friends, families. Maybe you have some candles or a weighted blanket that you use. There's so many things that you can do to help you to ride out this wave, because what I don't want you to do is to let the anxiety cause you to either avoid an opportunity or, let's say, procrastinate on something that you should be doing. Because when you do that over the course of time, that anxiety, it will turn into depression. So real quick, guys, I'm gonna go to 3 secrets that will help you to overcome your anxiety. And before I go over these 3 secrets, I do want to say this. There's a common theme between all these 3 secrets. And I want you guys to ask yourself, what is it, right? I want to see if you know. All right, what is the theme behind these 3 secrets? All right, so I'll tell you. So the secret is that you have to actually learn how to let go of it. When you learn to let go of your anxiety, it thus becomes something that is felt and less of something that's a problem. Right now, anxiety is seen as like the boogeyman, right? It's that thing that's under the bed that you just can't get rid of. But again, if you actually decide to look under the bed, shine a flashlight, you see that it's not what you thought it was. It's not what your mind is telling you that it is. All right, so main point number 1 that I made was, guys, don't fall for the monkey trap. You have to find something that's more valuable than what's in the coconut, right? So that's in the trap. You have to find something that's more valuable than that in order to convince you to let go of it. The second point that I made is that, guys, eliminating the problem is creating the problem. It's not about trying to get rid of something that is normal. It's learning how to live with something that is normal. And then the third point that I made, and again, in the description, but also in the comments below, is going to be a link that shows you the art of urge surfing. All right. So point number 3 was all about writing out your urges, right? Writing out your anxiety as if it is a wave, if you will. If you do that, you'll see that it doesn't have to be this scary thing that you're living under or drowning under. It's something that you can actually ride on top of. And actually, I'll even say this. The way that surfers ride out a wave, they use it as a tool, right? Like a wave has a lot of energy, right? The same way that they can ride out a wave and it has this energy is the same way that we can use anxiety as energy, motivation for us to do what we need to do. So my name is Coach Wells. I'm a licensed therapist. Thank you for checking out this podcast episode, and I'll see you guys later.